So, Connor, I would love to know what the go-to-market engineering situation was at Happily before you started working with Understory.
Main issue we were running into is one of tapping in and tapping out time, capacity, resources, or sort of the deep expertise to be able to execute on it as well as it probably could be executed on. I did a lot of diligence. I think the two things for me that were big and indicative is we had a really deep conversation around strategy and performance and sort of like looking at this as a go-to-market channel and not just a technical exercise. And then I think the other piece was kind of the all-bound focus.
For you, so what kind of results have you actually seen since we launched?
We did 26 ops in Q1. We've done 18 quarter to date in Q2. And then of those, we've closed 7. So for us, our ACV is like 10, 12K a year. So we are ROI positive on the channel. I would recommend you guys to anyone not doing any form of outbound today. Or I would say if you're doing some of it and you look like us where you have early indicators that this could be a channel that works, but you just don't have the team capacity resources.
All right, I am here with Connor Jeffers, founder and CEO of Hapily, formerly Event Happily, currently just Happily. And then before that, founder of Aptitude 8, which is a really successful, to this date, HubSpot agency. They've crushed it. Connor successfully exited. And all-around serial entrepreneur, guy that knows what success looks like, guy that's been in the game for a while. But Connor, thank you for joining.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Happily to be here. Nice.
Happily to be here. Happily. You just say happily and then you're good on everything.
Exactly. So yeah, Connor's been working with us on good market engineering for, I want to say we're on month 5 now.
Yep.
I believe we're on month 5. And we've had a great experience working together on both sides. We love the Happily team. Connor wouldn't be here if he hadn't had a good experience with us. So Connor, I would love to know what the go-to-market engineering situation was at Happily before you started working with Understory.
Yeah, so before we worked with you guys, we had a Clay account. Our director of demand gen was basically like, in addition to doing all of the other things that she did, would sort of dabble on, oh, we want to do this campaign, we want to do this thing, like let's go spend time, let's spin it up, let's build it. And so we got stuff working enough for us to sort of be like, there is something here and this is worth pursuing. But kind of the main issue we were running into is one of sort of tapping in and tapping out, which is really hard if you're trying to build and execute on a channel because you don't have sort of continuous momentum and experimentation to know what's working, and just sort of both a labor and a capacity issue in terms of our ability to have someone do it full time. And so that was sort of what led to us saying we are interested in having a firm here because we have sort of initial indication that this could be a successful channel, but we don't have the time, capacity, resources, or sort of the deep expertise to be able to execute on it as well as it probably could be executed on.
Okay, makes a ton of sense. And the way we got introduced actually was through Harris Kenny.
Yeah.
So Harris Kenny, founder of Outbound Sync. You guys are both obviously very connected. I think it was Tiny Seed maybe?
I don't even know. Like through the HubSpot universe, like
Okay.
I don't know. He's one of those dudes that I'm just like, oh yeah, we're like in the same and I don't know what we're orbiting, but like
Well, you're both building tools for HubSpot, so
yeah,
that makes
exactly.
yeah, cool. So that's how we got introduced, and so it sounds like it was a capacity constraint, maybe a bit of a skill constraint, just because this person you're referencing really
Yeah.
does do everything, and that's how we came in.
Yeah.
Cool. And then what made you decide on us in particular? I'm sure knowing you probably interviewed multiple different people. You
I did.
probably yeah, you
I went
probably
deep.
laid
I
out your
went
options.
deep. So I actually don't even think I've ever told you this before. So I did a lot of interviewing. I think the GTME universe is really interesting because I think you get a lot of like charlatan category folks and people that sort of like to post on LinkedIn and like to make stuff and like to do stuff, but are not necessarily tied back to being a service provider focused on performance and outcomes. And so I did a lot of diligence. I think the two things for me that were big and indicative is we had a really deep conversation around strategy and performance and sort of like looking at this as a go-to-market channel and not just a technical exercise, which I think tied back to sort of how I think anyone that's in a buying seat here, which is like I'm paying for this and then I'm looking for these kinds of outcomes. And then I think the other piece was kind of the all-bound focus and looking at this as like we're not just doing a cold outreach and we're doing that at a massive scale and like it's just a scale thing. It's like what is the cohesive strategy and how does that cohesive strategy translate to outcomes that are measurable?
I swear I did not pay him to say that. I love that.
I wouldn't have worked with you otherwise, is the
Yeah,
answer.
no,
I
I
talked to
love that.
lots
I
of
love
people that I
that.
was like, they seem really smart, but like they're really squirrely about having this conversation about how this translates into results and outcomes and how it's a channel and a strategy versus just like an execution function.
Yeah, and before we even started working together, I mean, we completely reverse engineered what the outcomes would need to look like in order for this to be successful by
Yep.
month 4. And clearly we're in month 5, so
Yep.
something worked. So tell me what the actual process has looked like. So what have we actually ended up building for you so far?
Yeah, so we have a whole bunch of different strategies going, but I'll speak more to sort of like how we work with the team and then give some specifics. So, the most tangible example for us is so we're an event and sort of in-person marketing platform. So we do a lot of trade shows. We have customers that go to a lot of trade shows and conferences, and so we have a strategy where we're basically going and saying, okay, we're going to go to an event. Let's use one of the most recent ones, just like SaaS Doc. So we're going to sponsor SaaS Doc. We want to go and get every single sponsor of SaaS Doc. We then want to match that against an ICP list that we're providing. And then we want messaging to that audience that is, you should use this during the day of, and we'll give you a free pilot. Then we want to go and say, for everybody, we go there, we do the event, we create a lot of content and stories and other stuff around it. We package all of that up, and then we're like, let's go back to everybody that went there and say, hey, how did your event go? Here's what our results were. Here's how we're measuring it. Here's how we're managing it. And here's video and evidence that we were there and met with you. And we want to go and do follow up. We have this other strategy we're doing that we call kind of like Uno reverse, where we go around the trade show floor and we're like, oh, how are you doing this? Do you have lead capture? No, cool. You should probably check us out. And we want to do that kind of campaign as well. And so we come to the Understory team and say, we're doing this event. Here's sort of our idea for the strategy. Here's our ICP list. Like, let's make it happen. And then your team goes and finds all those sponsors, cross-references them, drafts all the messaging and communication. We review it, we iterate on it, we work on it together. You guys then execute on it, and when we get hits, those get managed from our sales team, who then converts those into meetings, and then we sort of look at the ongoing performance and kind of iterate and tweak and optimize. And we're doing kind of that exact same approach across a whole bunch of other different types of campaigns that we're running, whether it be signal or audience or intent or whatever it might be.
And one thing I want to touch on that you guys do an excellent job of, you guys honestly I would consider the gold standard for this, but when we are booking positive replies or lead requests or something like that for you guys, your sales team is actually fantastic at taking those and turning them into actual opportunities. Now, honestly, you guys do a fantastic job at actually converting those into opportunities because you guys do it in a timely manner. Even if someone says, like, let's say it's a lukewarm interest, it's, hey, I'm not sure we need this, but feel free to send me some information. You guys do a great job at turning that into, let me actually tell you a little bit more, to a point where they do become interested and they do lead to a conversation. And we've seen a lot of those actually turn into real opportunities for you guys.
I think we've iterated on it with you guys, honestly. I think that we had a lot of feedback of like, hey, let's do outbound. Cool, here's a meeting link, and that doesn't convert versus,
Yep.
and I actually was on the wrong side of this because I was giving critique to the sales team of like, why do we have all these people that we're pen pals with? And then like the people that we're pen pals with convert into meetings. And I'm like, oh, okay. I guess there's something here.
Yeah, exactly. No, you guys have done a great job with that. So shout out, Joe. The other question I have for you, so what kind of results have you actually seen since we launched? So obviously we're talking about what's happened and what's worked, but what kind of results have you actually seen?
Yeah, so I guess I pulled up like one, but we should go one stage up the funnel, I suppose. So we have created, oh, this is just open. Oh man, I should have been more prepared for this and given you better answers. So we did 26 ops in Q1. We've done 18 quarter to date in Q2. And then of those, we've closed 7. So for us, our ACV is like 10, 12K a year. So we are ROI positive on the channel. Obviously, there's lead time. I think if we look back at it in absolute terms, I think we'll be well over 1x. I think our view is basically, can we replace the outgoing cost at a rate that we can sort of sustain? And so we are seeing that sort of, what, 4 or 5 months in, like we're consistently replacing that revenue. And so for us, it's a channel that we're eager and willing to continue to spend on and scale up.
Yeah, and then also what's been cool, I mean, we heard this yesterday actually at our meeting, but it's increasing the velocity, the actual op
Yeah.
creation velocity is increasing. So just last week, I think Joe said we had 6 or 7 new opportunities created or
Yeah.
something like that. So that's been
And
really
we're
fun to
we're
see.
working. We have 14 open right now, right? So for
Yeah.
and two of those are verbal commit, and six are negotiating. So I would imagine that seven will be closer to 10, maybe, hopefully by the end, maybe by the end of the month. Hope definitely by the end of the quarter. But we're seeing it as a channel that we've added into our mix. And I think the other thing that's been interesting for us is we are more of a seasonal business than we probably had realized early this year. Most of our audience is like busy doing events, and so our inbound channels through like March, April, May, were have been pretty quiet compared to sort of previous periods. We're starting to see that pick up again right now, and so outbound has been something that not only is supplementing sort of the other channels that are being suppressed by seasonality, but I think will amplify total demand gen performance through the back half of the year.
Love that. Makes a lot of sense. Last question for you. So who would you recommend us to and why?
I would recommend you guys to anyone that is either not doing any form of outbound today and is like interested in it as a channel, but I would also sort of preface that with like has assets and is ready to do it well. I think you can't. This stuff isn't an on switch. You sort of have to come with your own marketing collateral and sort of have a story worth telling. And it's sort of additional cannons. If you don't have any cannonballs, it's not very useful. Or I would say if you're doing some of it and you look like us, where you have early indicators that this could be a channel that works, but you just don't have the team capacity resources, and I think that's regardless of scale, right? You could be a big GTM team and you just don't have anybody focused on this, and you need that to be a managed channel and sort of extend what your team's capabilities are. I would say they'd be a good fit.
Amazing. Well, Connor, I appreciate you doing this, and I'm looking forward to another quarter of success.
Absolutely. I'll talk to you more soon.
All right.